Hi, I'm Søren Matz. We are in Shanghai in Shanghai. This is my company. It's called MatzForm. Come on inside. You're very welcome. Perhaps first I'd like to take you over my foundation. I'm a cabinet maker, so this is my toolbox. I handmade in Denmark when I was a young man, actually in my late teens. It has followed me throughout the world for many, many, many years, and has lovely handmade tools used to make a lot of furniture. It's not that much in use, but sometimes I use it from time to time in our factory for quality controlling. Here's my grandfather up there. There's a little picture. And so it's kind of a family trait of doing craftsmanship. Have over here a beautiful, beautiful piece of cabinetry. It's a very fine Swiss pear wood and Italian maple wood. It's a lovely handcrafted piece of a jewelry box. Right here in front of me, if I should pick up a chair, it's a very, very cool Berner Panton design chair, one of the great superstars of Danish design. Very, very nice piece. It's called the relaxer chair. Over here, I have my curiosity cabinet. Have a look inside. I keep all kind of things, quadrat, fabric animals, the Danish Vikings, my nutcracker collection. These kind of furniture is my best selling. This is our sushi sofa. Heaps of chairs and furniture, as you can see everywhere. The table here is done out of flooring board. Here, this used to be inserted into the wall. This is from Yunnan. So this is old rice warehouse from Yunnan, where they actually tore down the old houses, and we buy the reclaimed material. Here we have an incredible, interesting piece. It's actually Swedish folk art from late 1800s, and you have a funky little handle. So this is a household stool from Sweden. What we did, we cut a hole here, and we make it a cat's home, as you can see. And these stools are extremely popular by the local Shanghainese women. They're rather lonely, so they have these little cat home at their house.
Hi, Søren. Could you tell us about your childhood in Denmark and being an apprentice there?
Okay. Childhood in Denmark, I grew up with a happy Polish family in an apple plantation with a horse farm. Very romantic and normal family. I kind of dropped out of school and decided to become a craftsman. And I took my apprenticeship in Denmark. And I graduated as a master cabinet maker. And from there, I decided to go to Japan to study further. It was very difficult. So I spent a year in New York with Sotheby's in the antique restoration. And from there, I finally got a scholarship and moved to Japan. In Japan, I was very lucky to meet Mr. Nakamura. He has a big workshop with 50 carpenters doing very fine Sugiya Kochiku. It means Sugiya architecture, tea house architecture. I was with 50 carpenters in Kyoto. I was asked to set up the interior department, everything, flooring, lighting, and of course many chairs and everything related to interior. I was in charge of that, and I was the only foreigner there. That was quite an amazing experience to be living in Kyoto and spent 18 years in this. I was offered the opportunity to come to Shanghai in 2005. 2005, Shanghai was a bit rough still, where I made a company with a partner back then. We had a very rough time implementing fine furniture because people had no budget for good quality furniture. In 2010, Shanghai changed completely because of the Expo. After Expo, the whole city was cleaned up for billions and billions of dollars. I saw a complete new trend of China that people wanted individuality, and they wanted to have nice furniture that signaled their status, their restaurant, their cafe, whatever project they were doing.
You spent 18 years in Japan and about 20 years in China.
19 years here.
19 years.
19 years in China, yes.
Fantastic. What sets MatzForm apart from other designer furniture makers?
The competitive advantage is in the China market. First of all, we have a licensee on our furniture. We pay a royalty. We don't do any sort of knockoff. So everything is original with authenticity and a great story behind. We even put a number plate, a plate on our furniture with numbers so we can trace where it comes from. So when we're buying a MatzForm chair, you're buying a piece of history, and it will stay very valuable in the far future. So actually, many of our chair, I do believe 10 years down the road, you can sell them with profit and for much more money than you purchased. So buying MatzForm, I believe it's a good investment.
From your perspective, Søren, what does it take for a Western player to be successful in China?
Well, there can be many different parameters. First of all, we need a lot of patience. Things doesn't happen overnight here, and you really need to go a bit deep and try to understand the culture, how you manufacture. You have to have a very good relation, like everywhere else. But the Chinese understanding of creating a product and the culture where I'm born and raised, Scandinavia, is a very different interception of when is a product done and when is it not done, etc. I really love Chinese people. I like their strengths, and I like their eager to work. If I could add one thing, I think for one of our strengths here is also we with the patience, you reach a quality that is Danish or Scandinavian European quality, and with this quality you save the shipping, and so you can have very, very beautiful design created here with Chinese and domestically, and save the carbon footprint of having a container, and of course also triple the price.
Many foreign players have given up on China. What do you think are the common pitfalls for foreign companies in China?
Well, it can be a lot of different issues. It can be, IPR. And I also believe very much in understanding, working with Chinese, and again, patience. So I think Chinese people are incredible, wonderful people to work with. And if they don't work right, you can actually blame it on yourself. And many foreigners, they very easily tend to blame it on the Chinese. And I think the Chinese, if you treat them well and work with them in the right way, I think you can come very, very far, and you can do magic.
You mentioned the risk of IP, intellectual property, and also regulatory environment. How did you mitigate those risks?
There was a Danish company here doing cleaning machines for the streets, and they kind of fell asleep. And before they knew of it, they take the street machine into the factory, they take it apart, they reproduce everything. But this is just like the Japan in the 60s, or any developing country that wants to advance. They take the short route of, copying great products that are coming in. This can be a very big struggle for a certain company. Also, for our industry with furniture, it can be very closely related furniture. And for Louis chair, there's only 10 years protection. So any of these mid-century chairs you can produce as crazy as you want within China. But you can't export them because you will be confiscated when it arrives to Europe. And in China you can do all kinds of things, and so this is very, very through line of balance of IPR and understanding all of this. I also think land for taxations and how to run payment terms. Is a very abstract thing, and we pay you nota and etc. And I have actually seen a lot of foreigners break their neck on misinterpretation of when do I get paid the last part, because the last part is where you actually make a little money. And if you do get paid that, you go broke.
You also mentioned that it's very important to learn how to work with Chinese people. So from your personal experience, what are the practical steps you took to learn how to work with Chinese?
Wow. First of all, I don't think I'm perfect. I don't think, life is a learning process. I'm a bit impatient personality, and I'm not very good. But still, I believe by listening to them, their idea, and by reasoning in a very, very interesting and systematic way how to do things. I think for a Japanese person, we are kind of trained very difficult in the schooling system, more like, but you do that. I think here, because it has been a bumpy past with Cultural Revolution and the way people have been working for a government company, to make it efficient, it's very important that you reason the efficiency and the steps, how you do things, and make them understand on your side why we are taking these different and new steps. So this is, and of course, generate trust and mutual understanding for how things are done. If you are lacking of patience, this could very, very easily be the pitfall that you fall in and give up and travel out of the country.
What advice would you give foreign companies considering to enter the China market nowadays?
Wow, China nowadays is very mature in many ways. As you know, it's a very, very big nation, 1.4 billion people, and we are dividing in the country to first, second, third tier city. We are now in the first tier cities, Shanghai, and you have others first tier. And I believe it has reached a very high level of international standard. In many ways, it has actually surpassed Western countries when it comes to solar power, electric cars, and many interesting things they have developed themselves. But I must say the people as such, the young generation, the white-collar people that you will have to hire and work with, they have become very international, and they have a great understanding what's going on thanks to media and their films and whatever they have access to. And a lot of them have built a brand studying in Europe, in Japan, in Korea, and nearby, and they bring home a really global, clear understanding. So I think if you come here and want to set up a company, it's actually relatively easy. You, as anywhere else, you need to have a very clear business plan. But I do believe you can access into super educated, smart people. I would not look at a first-tier city in China as Shanghai, where we're sitting now, as a very complicated place to start a business. I think it's relatively smooth. I don't have big alarm things that you should be worried about. Of course, the current state of the economy is in a bit critical state. People are a little bit nervous now, holding back on spending. So it could be, one would have to be a bit careful what kind of industry we're bringing in right now.
In the APAC region, do you see other promising markets in the next 5 years?
Absolutely. Australia is a very strong one. It's half the shipping time or even less than from Europe. And by being able to produce great products here, European quality, you have a huge business advantage selling in Australia. As we know, Australia has hardly any manufacturing at all. So that's a great market. I see Korea is exploding as well. Japan is nearby if you have the right product. And even places as Thailand. Singapore is booming at the moment. It's a very, very active, relatively small, but a lot of money there. So yes, I can see different countries that are worthwhile for export.
Søren, what's your outlook for the furniture trend in Asia and in Europe in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, Asia and Europe are very far apart. And I don't think you can just put it, it could require a very, very long story and too individual story. But here in Asia, where we are, I can speak from my own field, which is Scandinavian style and quality furniture. I think it has huge potential, and people are very interested to get better quality furniture in their houses. As I spoke earlier, long-lasting, forever modern, and these kind of pieces would bring more room in the households of Asia, restaurants, hotel, etc., etc. For Europe, it's as you know, I lived through 30 years almost, so it's very difficult for me to give a clear prediction on what's going to happen there for the next 10 years. I'm sorry.
Very now. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yeah, not at all. Pleasure.